Hello, you wonderful people. So think of this as kind of like a little test run of kind of like a nerdy, I guess, vlog, which I guess everything I do is kind of a vlog. But this is basically just letting you know, like, oh, this is some nerdy stuff that I'm kind of up to and just kind of doing little bite-sized discussions. I haven't really 100% decided what I'm going to title this and whether or not this is going to be a continuous thing or not, but nevertheless, kind of letting you know, currently I am running through the MCU movies again. I'm rewatching them. I started last week. If you're curious about my whole situation with the MCU movies, I've seen every MCU movie once with the exception of Infinity War. I haven't seen it at the time of me recording this. I know, it's just the whole thing. I won't really get into it. But yeah, I've seen every movie once with the exception of Guardians Volume 1. I'm pretty sure, yeah, I've seen that twice, so that's the only movie, which it's kind of funny because it's like that's the only movie with a sequel amongst all the movies that I rewatched in preparation for the new movie. It's just so weird. Nevertheless, it's not important necessarily. So, you know, obviously kind of funny, kind of has done a similar thing where they basically went back and ranked and reviewed all the movies. That's not necessarily what I'm doing. I'm just talking just like interesting things. It's just interesting going back, and maybe I'll have little videos where I might bring up discussions about them and stuff like that. The ones I watched were Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk movie, the one with Edward Norton and Liv Tyler, the one that's part of the MCU. Which I don't know if 100% of people always remember that that's part of the MCU. Like, it's always interesting because it wasn't, it just kind of became its own thing. Because interesting enough, I never knew that about the whole Hulk being part of like Universal. So making like Hulk movie will probably be in the same vein as making a Spider-Man movie. It just kind of be a collaboration type of thing. So it'd probably be more of a hassle. It's a whole thing, but nevertheless. Which those movies still hold up. Like, I always remembered really liking the Incredible Hulk movie. I don't know how most people felt about it, but also really liking the Iron Man movie. There's a lot of interesting stuff going back and rewatching it. Like, one, watching Iron Man kind of trips me out just because it's just like, it's just like, this is the start of everything. And it's like, wow, this movie set this whole universe up. So it's incredible to go back and watch it. Also trips me out to see Coulson in it because I was like, what? Coulson? I lost my shit because I completely forgot he was in that movie. And he actually plays a big part in the plot. I remember him being in Thor, but I guess it just slipped my mind that he did play a part in the other movies as well. So it tripped me out so much. I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. I think it's also because Coulson's in a suit too. It's like, I mean, he hasn't worn a suit in a long while, right? Like, it's not because it's not part of his wardrobe on like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's usually in more casual like clothes and stuff like that. But it's just so weird to see him. I'm just like, oh my god, you're that Coulson. And also you also had that weirdness where it's like, all right, Terrence Howard, you know it, but then when you see it again, it just comes back. It's like, right, that's weird. I don't know. It's funny yet weird. But like, it's such a good movie. Like, if you've not gone back to rewatch it, you should. It still holds up very well. It's so interesting because, like, you know, you see why Tony wanted to start all of this. Like, the whole hero business was because he was trying to make up for the mistakes that Stark Industries has made. I mean, more so that was like Obadiah doing all that, but still, like, his family's name was on it, and it's like he wanted to be a hero because he's like, I believe in my heart. It's just so interesting also knowing the future of like what he does in the future and the complications that turns into. Like, he started this off with the best of intentions and what that eventually kind of spirals out into with the other Iron Man movies as well as the rest of the MCU. But nevertheless, I also completely forgot that's like the first movie we saw Nick Fury in. I was like, because in my head I was thinking like Iron Man 2 was. It's like, no, like Nick Fury pops up in the first post-credit scene of the MCU, which is incredible. Interesting things about the Incredible Hulk. For one, I could have sworn at one point in the movie, like when Bruce is in the library and he looks up, well, he's at the school going through like talking on the computer, and he looks up and there's a dude across from him. Isn't that Martin Starr? Not like, maybe I'm completely stupid, but isn't that Martin Starr? Which is interesting considering the fact is that if that was Martin Starr, he later on pops up in Spider-Man Homecoming as like that debate teacher and stuff like that. So that'd be kind of interesting because it's just kind of like, oh, like, is that something they weren't hoping anyone noticed because it wasn't such a big part or something like that? Because there's a dude that General Ross is talking to in the episode. I don't know that actor's name. I'm gonna put an annotation for it, but it bothers me I don't know the actor's name. Like, the most recent thing he did was like he was Lemuel in Midnight Texas, if you've seen that TV show. Other than that, he popped up in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I was like, you're what? You're what? Which obviously it's a thing. Once again, this is a Universal movie at the same time of it being a Marvel movie, so I'm sure that's why they can get away with it. But it's been like years. He pops up in the most recent season, the current season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., like, if you're caught up on this season or whatever, like you've seen season 5, he's the Confederacy alien. That dude, like the first one to get introduced to, that dude is in just like one scene of the Incredible Hulk movie. I was like, that's insane. I was like, I lost my shit on that dude. I was like, that's what? That's so crazy. Because obviously the MCU is very consistent about the continuity and stuff like that. Which is, now that I've been watching that movie, it is kind of interesting because obviously a lot of stuff from that hasn't popped up in the MCU because, you know, like I said, the whole universal rights situation, which is crazy because obviously that set up Abomination. The dude that was helping them try to find the cure, like, we see his situation turn into something too, but it never, obviously because it was never built upon that, their Hulk. Which is so interesting because it's also like the whole Betty Ross situation. It's like, oh yeah, but now like obviously the movie set up the whole like him and like Hulk and Black Widow situation, which is so interesting to me. It's just like, wow, like I said, it's just like you kind of forget like, oh yeah, that a lot of that kind of gets swept on the rug. It's like, yeah, it kind of sets up the Incredible Hulk for our universe. But it's also interesting too because it seems like the way the movie kind of ends, it almost seems like he's in more control of it, which the MCU doesn't seem like it necessarily took that continuity. I mean, to be fair, like I said, I'm just starting rewatching it, so like a lot of my memory is fuzzy about the earlier stuff. But by the time he pops up in Avengers, maybe, I don't know. It didn't seem like he was still kind of always worried about control because that's something he's been losing more and more. But the way the movie kind of implies it, and him kind of smirking like that at the end of like Incredible Hulk, makes it seem like, oh yeah, like he is kind of all about gaining control of it. Something he was like, yeah, I never wanted control of it. So it's also interesting too because there's a moment, wasn't it in Ragnarok? This exact moment happens where like he falls, he jumps, and then he just lands. Oh, I'm trying to remember because it's been a little while. Either like the wolf ended up attacking him. I think it was he jumped out of a plane and lands and goes smack. And it's like, oh, is he dead? And then he turns into the Hulk. I think that's what the situation was. There's literally, I completely forgot that was happening. That happened in Incredible Hulk too. So it's like, was that supposed to be a reference to that? Or is it just, I don't know. I just thought that was just kind of interesting. Like, oh, plummeted to your death, hit the ground hard. I was like, okay, good. Thank goodness you transformed at the last second so you're not dead. Like I said, this is all so very fascinating to me, just going back and rewatching everything. So if you are curious, I am going to probably do it like a weekly thing. I probably, depends on just me, but how many I'll watch. You know, maybe I watch 2, maybe I watch 3. Just depends on how much time I have. But I'm probably going to make it like a Marvel Movie Friday thing or something like that. I was thinking about doing like audio commentary and stuff like that for the movies, but I don't know if I'll do that. If you'd want me to, let me know. I mean, granted, by the time you see this will be going up on a Friday, so I don't know if this will be like a mainstay thing. Like I said, I'm just testing this out, so I'll probably do this for the rest of the MCU stuff, like as I'm rewatching the movies, but I don't know if I'm going to continue it beyond that or what. This probably won't be a mainstay thing. If it does go up on Fridays, it would most likely probably go up like as a side thing. It probably won't be the main thing. This week it might be the main thing that goes up, but ultimately we'll kind of wait and see. So I don't know, like I said, I'm excited to continue watching rewatch the MCU movies again. It's going to be interesting to see what else I kind of pick up, because there was this line in Iron Man I thought was kind of interesting where it's like, oh yeah, the suit, we can make it so that just in case you ever want to go to other planets or something like that. I'm like, that's very interesting. Not having seen Infinity War, that line's kind of interesting. Also, Paul Bettany as Jarvis, which I know, yes, it's not like he's been Vision for that long. He's been Vision for like 3 years, but still, it's still kind of like, Side note, I don't think I actually ever said it in this video too. I am watching everything in order, chronological order that it came out, not in the timeline sense of like chronological order. So just putting it out there. But nevertheless, I'm going off, meant for this to be a lot shorter than what it is. Hopefully I can cut this down at least a tiny bit. But nevertheless, that's really all I want to kind of talk about in this video. So until the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and good